Listen to what the Bible says in Daniel 6 and verse 23. Then the king was exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no injury whatever was found on him, because he believed in his God. The fact that Daniel survived the lion's den raises a really important question. The Bible says that no injury whatever was found on him because he believed in his God. So what do we make of the millions of people who also believed in God, but didn't survive their ordeal? I'm thinking in particular of one family I know of over in India that was burned alive in their car by Hindu fundamentalists who didn't want them to share the gospel. Or I'm thinking of people like Peter, James, Thomas, Andrew, and Paul, who were all martyred for the sake of the gospel. What about them? And what about us on those occasions when it seems like everything is going wrong in spite of the fact that we do the right thing? How do you reconcile the story of Daniel, which is supposed to be our example, with the harsh realities of day-to-day disappointment? The key might be found in the way this story is structured. You'll notice that Daniel has already had to bear a lot of discomfort in his life. He's been chained to other slaves and forced to march hundreds of miles to Babylon. He's been maligned by the other members of the court and thrown into a lion's den in spite of his innocence. It's hard to build a case that Daniel lived a trouble-free life. It's only after he passed through the problems that he comes back up out of the hole in the ground without an injury to his body. Now, take that information and look at God's ultimate plan for His people. In the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, God makes this remarkable promise, beginning in verse 51. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible has put on incorruption, and this mortal has put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. If the story of Daniel chapter 6 foreshadows the resurrection of Christ, and I believe it does, and it also foreshadows the general resurrection of the dead, which I also believe, then this is one of the most hopeful passages in the book of Daniel. In this lifetime, we're going to suffer disappointment, sickness, disease, and death. It's just part of the package when you live on a planet at odds with its Creator. But in spite of what we suffer now, the moment is coming when the King will stand at our graves and call us out. The dead will be raised incorruptible, the Bible teaches, and that means we will move into the kingdom completely restored, with no injury whatever found on us. And at that moment, we're going to be given forever a better way to live.